The sky above planet Venera shimmered with the light of twin suns. The air was calm, filled with the gentle hum of power lines and distant voices from the great floating city of Kiros. Above the city, large silver ships moved through the atmosphere, their trails glowing softly against the orange clouds. Every day, patrol vessels left the docks to guard the borders of Venera's space. Among them was the starship Veilstar, a vessel known for its sharp crew and precise leadership. Its captain Lyra stood on the bridge, her dark blue uniform straight, her calm eyes fixed on the main screen. She was young for a commander, known for her discipline and her cool mind. To her, space was not full of magic or mystery. It was simply a field of science and logic. Her crew, however, often whispered stories when the nights grew long. Stories about an ancient species called humans. The humans were said to be powerful travelers who once ruled the stars. They fought wars that shaped the galaxy, built worlds that now existed only in ruins and then disappeared. No one knew how or why. Some said they destroyed themselves. Others said they left for another galaxy. To most people, humans were just myths. "Captain, another patrol report is complete," said Dren, her science officer, as he handed her a small device. "All clear. No signs of foreign activity near the outer ring." Lyra nodded. "Good. Set a new course toward Sector 7. There have been strange readings near the edge of that zone." Dren tilted his head. "Do you think it's pirates again?" "Most likely," Lyra said. "Or debris from the old war. Either way, we'll check it." The Veilstar turned slowly, its engines lighting up with a soft blue glow. The stars stretched around them as they entered the quiet void between systems. Inside the bridge, the sound of machines filled the air. Steady, calm, familiar. Lyra leaned on the railing near her chair. She had heard the stories of humans many times, mostly from older officers. She always thought they were nonsense. The idea that one species could rise so high and vanish completely seemed foolish. Yet she sometimes wondered why so many different worlds shared the same legend. Once, when she was a child, her father told her a story about how humans could travel beyond light, survive alone on empty worlds, and fight with courage that no machine could match. He said they were not the strongest or fastest, but they had something no other race could copy. Something called spirit. At that time, she laughed. Now, as a captain who faced danger every day, she was not so sure. Suddenly, a sharp tone filled the bridge. The radar began to flash. "Captain?" called Dren, his voice tense. "We're receiving a signal." Lyra turned at once. "From where?" "Outer edge of the map. Very weak but repeating. Frequency unknown. It's not pirate code and it's not Dominion traffic." Lyra stepped closer to the main screen. "Show it." A small green line blinked at the far corner of the display. The pattern was steady like a heartbeat. "Can you decode it?" she asked. Dren's fingers moved over the console. "Trying, it's old. I've never seen anything like this. The signal structure is strange. It's not Veneran, not Dominion, not from any known alliance." Lyra felt a chill. "Origin? Unknown. But it's moving slowly. Whatever it is, it's been traveling for a long time." The bridge grew quiet. The sound of the radar pulse echoed again and again. "Set a course," Lyra ordered. "We're going to find it." The crew obeyed, and the Veilstar changed direction, following the signal into darker space. Outside, the stars seemed to thin. The light from nearby systems faded until only the cold black of the void surrounded them. Hours passed. The signal grew stronger. Dren looked uneasy. "Captain, this is strange. The signal code is using a language that hasn't been seen in thousands of years. I can only translate a few symbols." "Show me," Lyra said. A string of glowing letters appeared on the screen. They looked foreign, yet somehow familiar. Lyra leaned closer. She could make out one word, horizon. "What does it mean?" she asked quietly. Dren shook his head. "I'm not sure. But there are ancient reports that mention ships from the human era. One of them had a name beginning with those same letters." Lyra stared at the screen. "You're saying this could be from the human age?" Dren hesitated. "Maybe. But Captain, that would mean this signal is coming from a ship that's tens of thousands of years old." The crew murmured among themselves. The word human spread across the bridge like a spark in dry grass. Lyra straightened. "Stay calm. We will confirm it with evidence, not rumor. Bring us closer." Slowly. As the Veilstar advanced, the faint mark on the radar grew larger. Finally, the dark shape of a vessel appeared against the stars. It was old and silent, covered in dust and ice. The ship's design was strange. Rough lines, heavy armor, no smooth curves like modern craft. Lyra's eyes widened. Magnify. The view zoomed in. The name on the side was clear now, Horizon Dawn. No one spoke. Dren broke the silence. Captain, the ship's power systems are still active at minimal levels. There's life support. Weak but stable. Lyra felt her pulse quicken. Any life signs? One faint signal. Very faint. She turned toward her team. Prepare a boarding party. I want a full scan before we enter. If this really is what I think it is, we may be standing on the edge of history. As they approached, the massive ship seemed to drift in slow motion. Its hull bore marks of battles long past, scars from energy blasts and meteors. The air around it glowed faintly from radiation shields still struggling to function after centuries. The boarding shuttle left the Veilstar, gliding toward the ancient craft. Lyra sat in the front seat, her heart steady but her thoughts racing. She had faced pirates, storms, and machines that could tear a world apart. But this felt different. This was the unknown, the part of space that existed only in old stories. The docking clamps connected with a dull thud. Air hissed through the corridor as the doors opened. Lyra stepped forward with her team. The interior was dark, filled with floating dust. The walls were made of thick metal, built for strength rather than style. They moved carefully, guided by small lights. Every corner held silence, broken only by the sound of their boots. "Captain," whispered one of the crew. "This place feels alive somehow." Lyra nodded. She felt it too. There was a weight in the air, as if the ship remembered everything it had seen. They reached a large chamber near the center. The scanner showed power still flowing there. Lyra raised her light and froze. Inside a transparent capsule lay a figure. A man tall and broad-shouldered, wearing an ancient suit with a faded symbol on his chest. His face was calm, almost peaceful, his eyes closed as if asleep. Dren's voice trembled slightly. "Captain, he's alive. The system is keeping him in cryo-sleep." Lyra stepped closer, staring at the frost-covered glass. The letters on the capsule were written in the same language as the ship's name. She could read only a few. One stood out, Ray Walker. Her heart pounded. "A human," she whispered. Dren looked at her. "What do we do?" Lyra did not answer right away. The quiet hum of the ancient systems filled the room. She could feel her crew's eyes on her, waiting. Finally, she said, "We bring him back to the Veilstar carefully. If the legends are true, then this man carries a piece of history we've all forgotten." As the team began their work, Lyra stood still for a moment, watching the frozen figure. She thought of her father's words, of the stories she once dismissed as fiction. The humans had been described as dreamers, fighters and builders of impossible worlds. Now, one of them was lying right before her. For the first time in her life, Captain Lyra felt something she could not measure, chart, or explain. Hope mixed with fear, and a deep sense that the galaxy was about to change forever. The Veilstar's medical bay glowed softly under white lights. Machines hummed quietly, scanning the still body of the man inside the cryo chamber. Captain Lyra stood near the glass, her hands behind her back, watching every flicker on the screen. It had been 6 hours since they brought him aboard. The ship's systems confirmed he was alive, but frozen in deep sleep. His body temperature was far lower than normal, yet his heart still beat with a slow and steady rhythm. The capsule that held him was old but built with incredible precision. Even after thousands of years, it still worked perfectly. Dren stood beside her, reading the results. "Captain, his biology is close to our own, but stronger in muscle density. His organs show no sign of damage. It's like he was frozen only a few years ago." Lyra turned slightly. "Can you read the language on the capsule yet?" "Not fully," Dren replied, "but I found a partial translation of the label. It says his name is Captain Ray Walker, from something called the United Earth Fleet. The other markings suggest the ship's origin system is Sol." Lyra frowned.
"Sol? That word appears in many human myths."
"Some say it was the birthplace of their kind." "Yes," Dren said, nodding. "The ancient star that gave light to their first world, but it was thought lost long ago." Lyra kept her gaze on the man. The idea that he had come from that ancient place filled her with both wonder and disbelief. For centuries, her people had searched the stars for truth about their own past, yet none had ever dreamed that a living being from humanity's golden age might appear before them. She stepped closer to the medical console. "Is it safe to wake him?" Dren hesitated. "His body is stable. The system keeping him asleep is still functional, but it's running low on power." If we don't release him soon, the chamber might fail on its own. Then prepare the process, Lyra ordered. We will do it under full observation. The crew worked quickly. Lights dimmed slightly as power was redirected. The cryo chamber hissed as vapor spilled from its sides. The frost began to melt from the glass, revealing the man's face more clearly. His features were sharp, his skin pale from long rest, his hair dark with streaks of silver. Lyra's voice was calm but firm. Monitor his heart rate. Keep him under control if he panics. The chamber opened with a soft mechanical click. The man's body shivered as warm air flowed around him. His eyes fluttered open, blue and bright even under the cold lights. For a long moment he stared upward, confused and silent. Then he spoke in a voice that sounded rough from disuse. Where am I? The crew exchanged nervous looks. The translation system took a moment, then repeated his words in Veneran language. Lyra stepped forward, her expression neutral but her tone careful. You are aboard the starship Veilstar, property of the Venera fleet. I am Captain Lyra. You have been in stasis for a very long time. Ray blinked slowly, his mind trying to piece things together. Venera fleet, he repeated. That's not Earth Command. What year is it? Lyra glanced at Dren, who checked his tablet. We use a different calendar now, he said. But from your records, it has been over 12,000 standard years since your ship left your origin world. Ray's eyes widened. He sat up slowly, his muscles stiff but strong. 12,000 years, he whispered. That can't be right. I'm afraid it is, Lyra said. You are the only living being we found aboard your vessel. The rest of your crew compartments were empty. Ray closed his eyes for a moment. Memories flickered in his mind. Bright stars, radio calls, his own ship filled with laughter and orders. He remembered the mission they had begun, the storm that hit, the systems failing one by one. He had gone into cryosleep, trusting the ship's AI to wake him once help arrived. But no one ever came. When he opened his eyes again, the reality settled deep inside him. Everyone he had known was gone. I'm sorry, Lyra said softly, seeing the weight in his face. Your people are considered legends now. Most of the galaxy believes humans vanished ages ago. Ray looked up at her, his voice calm but filled with something powerful. Legends, huh? Then I guess the stories weren't all lies. Lyra studied him carefully. There was no fear in his tone, only quiet strength. It was as if the vast time between their worlds meant nothing to him. Dren spoke from the side. Captain Lyra, his ship contains data cores still sealed. The language is similar to his. Only he can access them. Lyra turned back to Ray. Would you be able to help us understand your vessel? He nodded. Yes, the Horizon Dawn was one of the early exploration cruisers. It carried not only crew but archives of Earth's expansion routes, maps, and scientific data. If the systems still work, there may be a record of what happened to humanity. The bridge lights flickered slightly as they changed course back toward the Horizon Dawn. Lyra decided it was time to learn more. Hours later, Ray walked slowly through the corridors of his old ship. His steps echoed through the empty metal halls. He touched the walls as if greeting an old friend. Dust and silence were everywhere. Lyra and Dren followed behind him. Their scanners traced every signal the ship still emitted. Ray stopped near a central console. This was the heart of the ship, he said. Navigation, data, everything. I'll try to open it. He placed his hand on a small scanner pad. The system buzzed weakly. The screen lit up with faded text in English. Welcome back, Captain Ray Walker, it read. Dren stared in amazement. It still recognizes him. After all this time, Ray smiled slightly. These machines were built to last. He began working through the controls, his fingers moving with practiced skill. The lights of the room brightened. Symbols filled the screen. A map appeared, showing star systems that stretched far beyond anything Lyra had seen before. This was our chart of human space, Ray explained. We had colonies here, here, and here. Some of them were lost during the final wars. We were trying to reach a safer zone when we encountered a subspace storm. That's when I went into cryosleep. Lyra listened closely. You said final wars. What were they about? Ray paused. Power, fear. The same reasons any species fights. We built machines to protect us, then turned those machines into weapons. By the end, the stars burned brighter than they should have. He lowered his head for a moment. I thought humanity might recover. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't, but now you're here. So something survived. Lyra felt a strange mix of pride and sadness. Your kind may have vanished, but their memory lived on. Your courage became legend, even if most called it myth. Ray's voice grew firmer. Then maybe it's time those legends became real again. He continued working until one last file unlocked. The display shifted to show a symbol of a blue planet surrounded by stars. Earth, Ray said quietly. Our home. Lyra looked at it with wonder. It's beautiful. It was, Ray replied. I hope it still is. Suddenly the ship's lights flickered again. Alarms began to beep. Dren checked his scanner. Captain, there's an incoming transmission. It's not ours. Lyra turned to him. From where? Unknown source. Direction, Sector 8. It's not friendly. The signal is encrypted in Dominion code. Ray straightened. Dominion? Who are they? Lyra's tone grew serious. A powerful alliance that controls most of this region. They do not like unknown ships near their borders. They will come to investigate. Ray looked around the ship. Then we should prepare. If they see this vessel, they'll realize what it is. And if they learn humans existed, they might try to bury that truth. Lyra nodded slowly. We'll be ready. But first we must secure your data. It belongs to history now. Ray stared at the ancient console, the symbol of Earth still glowing faintly. No, he said. It belongs to the future. As they returned to the Veil Star, the signal from the Dominion grew stronger. Lyra knew this was no longer a simple discovery. The appearance of this single human ship would shake the balance of power across the stars. And as for Ray Walker, the man out of time, he was no longer just a lost traveler. He was now the bridge between legend and truth, between what the galaxy thought was gone and what had finally returned. The sound of quiet engines filled the Veil Star as it moved through the dark stretch of space. Captain Lyra stood near the main window, her eyes fixed on the glowing horizon ahead. Behind her, the crew worked in silence. The discovery of the ancient human ship had changed everything. What started as a simple patrol was now the center of the galaxy's biggest mystery. Ray Walker sat at a console beside Dren, reviewing the recovered data from the Horizon Dawn. His hands moved steadily across the controls, his face focused and calm. Even though he had been awake for only a short time, his mind worked with clear precision. He understood the systems as if no time had passed at all. Dren watched him with quiet admiration. You built machines that still work after 12,000 years. That is impressive, Ray smiled faintly. We built them to last. Space doesn't forgive weakness, Lyra turned from the window. What have you learned from your ship's archives? Ray leaned back in his seat. The data shows the last coordinates of Earth colonies before the fall. Many were destroyed or abandoned. Some signals stopped during the Great Silence. We were trying to locate survivors when the storm hit. Lyra stepped closer. The Great Silence? Yes, Ray said. It was a period when communication across human space ended. No messages, no signals, nothing. It was like the entire species vanished overnight. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. The idea of an entire civilization disappearing in one moment felt impossible. Yet the proof was sitting right in front of them. Dren pointed at one screen. Captain, these energy readings match ancient human drive signatures. They are more advanced than our current warp systems. Ray nodded. Our ships were built to explore beyond the edge of the known universe. We were not afraid to go where no one had gone before. Lyra studied him quietly. You speak with pride about your people. Do you think they still exist somewhere? Ray's expression softened. I want to believe so. If even one human survived, then humanity still lives. Lyra understood the feeling. Her own species had faced near extinction once, saved only by unity and sacrifice. She knew what it meant to hold hope when logic said otherwise. Before she could speak again, an alarm sounded. The bridge lights flashed red. Dren looked at his scanner. Captain, a Dominion vessel is approaching fast. They've detected us, Lyra straightened. How close? 10,000 kilometers and closing. They are broadcasting orders to surrender for inspection. Lyra clenched her jaw. Of course they would. They always want control of anything new. Ray stood up. If they see the Horizon Dawn, they'll take it apart and destroy the data. They won't let the truth about humans spread. Lyra nodded. I know, we'll hide it. She gave orders quickly. The Horizon Dawn was moved into a nearby asteroid field under cloak cover. Dren dimmed its power output to near zero, making it invisible to sensors. Meanwhile, the Veil Star stayed in open space, pretending to be on routine patrol. Moments later, the Dominion warship appeared. It was large and black with red symbols glowing across its hull. A sharp voice came through the comms. "This is Commander Varn of the Dominion Security Fleet. Identify yourself." Lyra kept her tone calm. "This is Captain Lyra of the Veilstar Venera Defense Fleet. We are patrolling neutral space under lawful code." Varn's image appeared on the screen. His eyes were cold. "You are near restricted territory. Our sensors detected unauthorized energy activity." "Explain yourself." "Debris scan," Lyra said smoothly. "We detected unstable energy from an old satellite. We are clearing the zone." Varn's gaze shifted. "Your report will be verified. You will remain in position for inspection." Lyra's voice hardened slightly. "This region is not under Dominion control. We are not required to submit to your inspection." Varn's tone dropped lower. "Be careful, Captain. Defiance can be seen as aggression." Lyra ended the transmission before he could say more. The bridge went silent. Dren looked uneasy. "Captain, if they start scanning, they may still pick up faint traces of the human ship." Ray spoke quietly. "Then we need a distraction." Lyra turned to him. "You have an idea?" Ray nodded. "Your ship has decoy drones. We can program them to emit similar energy patterns to the human drive core. If they chase the signal, it will buy us time." Lyra gave a sharp nod. "Do it." Within minutes, small metallic drones shot from the Veilstar, spreading across the asteroid field. Their engines pulsed with false signals, mimicking the power of ancient human drives. Varn's ship reacted immediately, turning toward the nearest reading. The Dominion sensors locked on the false targets, mistaking them for real. Lyra smiled slightly. "It worked." Ray crossed his arms. "Humans learned early that the best way to win is not always through strength, but through cleverness." Dren grinned. "That sounds like something our academy never teaches." For a brief moment, the tension faded. But the Dominion ship did not leave. Instead, it began launching probes into the area. Lyra frowned. "They are not giving up. We need to leave now." Ray looked at her. "Then let me help you. I can reroute your engines for silent warp. It's an old trick we used to slip past enemy patrols." "You can do that?" Dren asked, surprised. Ray smiled. "I can try." Together they worked quickly, adjusting the Veilstar's systems. Ray used simple codes that bypassed the usual energy spikes during warp jumps. When the process was complete, the engines were silent, their power hidden from scanners. Lyra gave the order. "Engage silent warp. Take us out of range." The stars around them blurred as the ship slipped into faster-than-light travel. The Dominion sensors lost track of them completely. When they reappeared in clear space hours later, everyone finally relaxed. Dren let out a long breath. "That was too close." Lyra looked at Ray. "You saved us." "Thank you." Ray shook his head. "You saved me first." "I'm just repaying the favor." Lyra smiled faintly. "Then we're even." They returned to orbit near a quiet moon far from any major routes. The horizon dawn was hidden safely in the moon's shadow. Lyra gathered the senior officers for a meeting in the main hall. Ray stood beside a holographic projection of the human star map. Bright dots showed the locations of lost colonies. "These are the last known outposts of the United Earth Fleet," Ray explained. "If even one still exists, it could have records of what truly happened." Lyra studied the map. "Most are far beyond known space. Some are inside Dominion borders." Ray's tone grew firm. "If we can reach one before they do, we can learn the truth. The galaxy deserves to know what became of humanity." Dren looked uncertain. Captain helping him could bring conflict with the Dominion. Lyra met his eyes. "Then we'll face it. We cannot turn away from history. If this man's people shaped the stars, we owe it to the truth to uncover it." The room was silent for a moment. Then Dren nodded. "Understood." Ray looked at her with gratitude. "You remind me of the captains I once served with. Brave, stubborn, and unwilling to quit." Lyra smiled. "Maybe humans were not so different from us after all." As the meeting ended, Ray stood at the viewing window. The stars outside glowed softly, endless and inviting. He felt both lost and at home at the same time. The universe had changed, but the challenge remained the same. Survive, explore, and never stop reaching. Lyra joined him. "Do you miss your world?" she asked quietly. Ray's eyes stayed on the stars. "Every second. But maybe this is what I was meant to see. A future where the old becomes new again." Lyra nodded slowly. "Then we will find what's left of your people. Together." For the first time since waking, Ray felt something that had nearly faded from him. Hope. Humanity might be gone from memory, but not from existence. Their fire still burned, now carried by those who believed in them once more. Far away, unseen, the Dominion fleet continued to track strange signals. Commander Varn's eyes narrowed as he studied the last traces left behind by the Veilstar. That ship was hiding something, he muttered. Find out what? I want answers. The hunt had begun, and across the stars the quiet spark of humanity was starting to awaken once more. The stars stretched endlessly before the Veilstar. Captain Lyra stood on the bridge, her hands resting lightly on the console. The ship had been moving quietly for hours, carefully avoiding Dominion patrols, yet the tension in the air was heavy. The crew worked with silent focus, aware that discovery could bring disaster. Ray Walker moved alongside Dren, studying the ancient star charts that still glowed faintly in the Horizon Dawn's memory banks. The maps showed lost colonies, abandoned outposts, and routes no longer traveled by any known species. Each dot told a story of hope, survival, or failure. They are everywhere, Ray said quietly. Humans spread farther than most believed. Some colonies may still be active, but finding them will be difficult. Many are deep in Dominion territory. Lyra glanced at him. We will have to be careful. The Dominion will not forgive anyone who intrudes into their space. Ray nodded. I know. But if we do nothing, the galaxy will remain blind to history. We cannot let their legends die in silence, Dren frowned. Captain, the Dominion has detected unusual energy readings near several of the colonies. They may already be investigating. Lyra clenched her jaw. Then we cannot wait. We must move quickly and quietly. The Veilstar changed course, slipping past the edges of known space. Asteroids drifted in the shadows, providing cover as they approached the first human outpost. The colony was old, barely functioning, but its energy signatures showed life. Small lights flickered across the surface of the planet, evidence of survival. Ray's eyes lit up. We have found one, he said softly. Even if it is small, it is proof that humanity still exists somewhere. Lyra nodded. We will make contact carefully. No sudden moves. We cannot provoke the Dominion. They sent a small shuttle down to the surface, piloted by Dren and a few crew members. Ray guided them, explaining the old protocols humans once used to communicate with outposts. Within an hour, the shuttle touched down in a quiet valley near the colony. The residents were wary at first. Their eyes widened when they saw Ray Walker step forward. Though he had been gone for thousands of years, his presence carried authority and familiarity. I am Ray Walker, he said in the universal translation. I come in peace. I am here to help your people reconnect with the rest of humanity. A few cautious figures stepped forward. They were descendants of the old colonies, humans who had survived in isolation. They had grown strong, capable, and resourceful. Their lives had been shaped by solitude, but they still remembered the stories of Earth and the great fleets that once roamed the stars. You are from Sol, one of them said, eyes wide. The legends are true. You are a human, Ray nodded. Yes, and now we must act together. The Dominion may be moving to claim what is left. If they find you first, humanity's history will be erased. The colonists exchanged nervous glances. Many had prepared for the Dominion's arrival for generations, hiding and strengthening their defenses. Ray spoke to them calmly, explaining that they were not alone anymore. Lyra and the Veilstar could provide support. Back on the Veilstar, sensors picked up Dominion ships moving toward the planet. Commander Varn's fleet had located the unusual activity. Red lights blinked across the bridge of his flagship as he studied the approaching humans. They have found a human outpost, Varn said, his tone sharp. We must act immediately. Humanity cannot rise again. It is too dangerous. His officers looked concerned. Sir, if we engage too quickly, the humans may escape. They have advanced technology from long ago. Varn's eyes narrowed. Then we will corner them. They will not slip past us a second time. Prepare the fleet for assault. On the Veilstar, Lyra observed the incoming Dominion fleet. They are faster and more numerous, she said. We cannot fight them head-on. We need a plan, Ray stepped forward. I have an idea. If we use the terrain of the asteroid belt and the planet's surface, we can create ambush points. We fight smart, not brute force, Lyra studied him. Go ahead. Show me. Ray began drawing out strategies on the holographic map. They would use decoy drones to lure some of the Dominion ships into the asteroid field. Smaller shuttles would create false energy signatures. The human outpost would stay hidden until the main fleet was distracted. Dren looked impressed. These tactics are clever. I did not expect them from ancient human methods. Ray smiled. We learned early that brains often beat brawn. Hours passed as preparations were completed. The Veil Star positioned itself just outside the system, monitoring the Dominion fleet. When the first ships entered the asteroid belt, the drones activated, emitting energy pulses identical to the human drives. Dominion sensors locked on and the ships pursued blindly. Lyra gave the order. Engage at full speed. Follow the plan exactly. The fleet moved quickly. The asteroid field was treacherous and the Dominion ships began colliding with rocks or firing blindly into the darkness. Smaller human shuttles struck weak points in their hulls, forcing them to scatter. From the bridge, Lyra watched the battle unfold with precise calm. Ray guided every move, his commands steady. Now release the hidden drones. Focus on the command ship. The decoys surged forward, drawing the Dominion flagship into the center of the field. With careful timing, the Veil Star and human shuttles attacked from multiple directions, striking at critical systems. The Dominion flagship faltered, its shields flickering. Commander Varn's eyes widened in surprise. Impossible, he muttered. They should not have these tactics. They are unpredictable. Ray leaned on the console. Humans are always unpredictable when it counts. The Dominion fleet began to retreat. Their formation collapsed under the clever ambush, and many smaller ships were damaged or destroyed. The humans and the Veil Star had won without risking unnecessary lives. After the battle, silence filled the Veil Star. Lyra let out a deep breath. It is over for now. They will return, but we have shown that humanity is not weak. Their legacy survives. Ray looked at her, his expression calm but proud. This is just the beginning. There are more colonies, more records, more survivors. The galaxy must learn that humans were not just legends, Dran added, and they will remember the courage and intelligence of your people. We have proof now, Lyra nodded. We will protect these survivors. We will show the galaxy that humanity's fire has not died. We fight not for conquest, but for history, for truth, and for hope. Ray smiled faintly. Then we will rebuild. One colony at a time, one truth at a time. From the observation window, they watched the stars slowly return to calm. The Dominion had retreated, but Lyra knew it was only a matter of time before they tried again. Humanity's return was a spark that would ignite fear and curiosity alike. Ray turned back to the holographic map. We must move quickly. There are more colonies and more secrets hidden in the stars. If we hesitate, the Dominion will erase everything. Lyra placed her hand lightly on the console. We move together. The Veil Star and its crew stand with you. We will make sure your story survives. For the first time since waking from centuries of sleep, Ray felt a sense of purpose stronger than ever. Humanity was no longer lost. Its spark had returned, and it would burn brighter than anyone in the galaxy could imagine. The battle had been won, but the war for recognition, truth, and survival had only just begun. The stars stretched ahead, waiting to reveal the forgotten paths of humans and the courage that still lived within them. The galaxy seemed quiet for a moment, but Captain Lyra knew it was only the calm before the storm. The Veil Star drifted silently above the hidden human colony, its systems humming in the soft light of distant stars. Ray Walker stood beside her, watching the holographic map of lost colonies. Each dot on the map was a hope, a memory of a civilization thought gone, now waiting to be reclaimed. The Dominion will not stop, Lyra said quietly. They will try again. They always do. Ray nodded. We cannot let them destroy what remains. Every colony we find, every record we recover, strengthens humanity's story. Dren entered the room carrying reports from the scouts. Captain, the outposts we contacted have agreed to help. They are willing to join forces. More importantly, they have information about other colonies deeper in Dominion space. Lyra's eyes lit up. Then we move. But carefully. We cannot risk provoking a full-scale war before we are ready. Ray studied the star charts. We will need to plan our routes carefully. Some colonies have maintained hidden communications. Others have defenses, but they are weaker than they believe. Patience and strategy will guide us. The crew began preparations. Small shuttles were repaired, energy shields reinforced, and supplies packed. Lyra coordinated the mission with precise care, knowing that every action mattered. Ray worked alongside the engineers, unlocking forgotten human technology and teaching them how to operate it. For the first time in centuries, humans' old systems hummed with life. Their star drives, shields, and navigation tools were more powerful than anything Venera had ever seen. Ray's experience made him the perfect guide. Days passed as the Veil Star moved from one hidden colony to another. Each visit brought new allies, human descendants who had survived isolation through resourcefulness and courage. They shared memories, records, and traditions passed down for generations. Ray welcomed them, listening with respect and learning their methods of survival. One evening, as the twin suns of a small planet dipped below the horizon, Lyra watched the human children playing on the surface. They ran freely, laughing, unaware of the galaxy beyond their world. Ray stood beside her. This is why we fight. Not for glory, not for conquest, but for life, for hope, for the next generation. Lyra nodded slowly. They will grow up knowing the truth about their people. Humanity is not gone. It lives again. Ray smiled faintly. And it will be stronger than before. The galaxy will remember us. The quiet was broken by an urgent alarm. Dren rushed onto the observation deck. Captain, the Dominion fleet has returned. They have located our movement patterns and are approaching quickly. Their numbers are greater than before. Lyra's face hardened. Prepare the defenses. We will protect the colonies at all costs. Ray looked over the fleet's approach on the holographic map. They are organized, but predictable. If we use our knowledge and technology, we can turn their strength into weakness. We do not fight blindly, Lyra nodded. Then we will show them what humanity can do. The Veil Star and the fleet of human outposts positioned themselves carefully. Hidden behind asteroid belts, natural shields, and cloaked shuttles, they waited. The Dominion ships advanced, confident in their superiority. Ray guided the fleet with calm authority. Focus on their command ships first. Use their own formation against them. Strike swiftly and retreat when necessary. The first exchange of energy fire lit the darkness. Dominion weapons clashed with human shields. Ships moved in coordinated patterns that seemed impossible, weaving through obstacles and striking at weak points. Lyra watched from the bridge, her pulse steady as she gave orders with precision. Small human shuttles darted through enemy lines, striking control systems. Decoy drones emitted energy signals that drew attention away from the true fleet. The Dominion flagship faltered, its shields flickering under unexpected attacks. Ray's voice echoed across the command deck. Now, concentrate on their flank, push them into the asteroid field. The maneuver worked. Dominion ships crashed against rocks or collided with one another. Their disciplined formation broke apart. Panic spread among their ranks as they realized the humans were more organized and clever than expected. Lyra's calm leadership and Ray's ancient strategies combined in perfect harmony. The Dominion fleet began to retreat, damaged and disoriented. Commander Varn's flagship turned away, its systems failing, forced to abandon the pursuit. When the battle ended, silence returned. The stars glimmered peacefully once more. The human outposts and the Veil Star survived. Humanity had proven itself once again. Ray leaned back against the console, exhausted but smiling. It is done. For now. But the galaxy knows we are here. Lyra placed a hand on his shoulder. You have done more than survive. You have reminded the galaxy that humanity's fire is not gone. It is alive, and it will burn brightly. Dren grinned. They will not forget us now. Not the Dominion, not anyone. Ray looked out at the stars. This is only the beginning. There are more colonies, more secrets, and more truth to uncover. We must rebuild humanity's presence across the stars. Lyra nodded. We will. The Veil Star and its crew will stand with you. We will protect the survivors, recover what was lost, and ensure the stories of humans are remembered. Days passed, and the newly united human colonies began to organize. They shared technology, trained together, and rebuilt communication networks. Ray oversaw the operation, teaching them not only how to survive but how to thrive in a galaxy that had long forgotten them. Lyra watched the progress with admiration. She had led fleets in her lifetime, faced enemies countless times, but nothing compared to witnessing the rebirth of a species thought lost to legend. Ray approached her one evening. "Do you understand now why they became legends?" he asked. Lyra nodded. Yes. It was not because of their weapons or ships. It was because of their courage, their resilience, and their unwillingness to give up. Ray smiled. And now it is our duty to make sure that courage continues, to show the galaxy that humanity's spirit cannot be destroyed. The Veil Star prepared to leave the first system, heading toward another lost colony. The stars ahead were full of unknown dangers, but also full of possibility. Humanity's return had begun and no force could stop it. Lyra stood at the observation window, thinking of the countless generations that had passed, the legends that had grown, and the truth now alive before her. Humanity was not just a memory. It was the spark that could ignite hope across the galaxy. Ray joined her silently. We will face more challenges. The Dominion will try again. Other powers may not welcome us, but we are not afraid. Lyra smiled. We never have been. Together, they looked at the stars, knowing that the future belonged not only to them but to every human who had ever dreamed of exploring the unknown. The galaxy was vast, mysterious, and full of danger, but it was also full of wonder. Humanity would explore it, reclaim it, and ensure that its story was never forgotten again. In that moment, the legend of humanity became reality. The fire that had once been lost in the shadows of history now burned brightly, visible to all who gazed into the night. And across the stars, the name of humans was spoken with respect, awe, and hope. The Veil Star and the human fleet moved forward, carrying survivors, knowledge, and courage. The galaxy was awake to the return of a species that had once shaped worlds and dreamed beyond the limits of imagination. Captain Lyra knew that challenges would come, that the Dominion and others would seek to destroy what they had rebuilt. But she also knew that with Ray Walker and the surviving humans, the fire of humanity could never be extinguished. The legends were true. Humanity was real, and now it was back to claim its place among the stars.